A black man walks into a bank to withdraw money from his own company account, only to be denied, questioned, and humiliated. But minutes later, the truth leaves everyone speechless and someone jobless. It was a rainy Thursday morning in Atlanta, Georgia. A steady drizzle tapped against the sleek glass panels of the Southern First Bank downtown branch, where well-dressed professionals buzzed in and out, umbrellas in hand, briefcases clutched tightly. Inside the bank, the atmosphere was coldly pristine. White marble floors, gold-accented counters, and a scent of polished surfaces and too much cologne. A man entered, his shoes squeaking slightly against the tile. He was tall, maybe 6 feet 3 inches, with rich mahogany skin, salt and pepper hair neatly trimmed, and a navy blue tailored suit that hung on him like it had been made with reverence. His name was David Langston, 52 years old. Measured, carrying only a small leather folder and a calm confidence forged by decades of adversity and accomplishment. David approached the teller window. "Good morning," he said with a slight southern drawl. "I'd like to make a withdrawal from my business account." The young teller, a red-haired man with pale skin and nervous eyes, scanned David's face. His smile faded quickly. "Sure. Can I see your ID?" "Of course." David handed it over. His Georgia driver's license. Platinum business card. Everything was in order. The teller glanced at the name. Langston Enterprises Incorporated. His brow furrowed. "Wait here a moment." David nodded, accustomed to delays. What he didn't expect was the manager. Amanda Crowley walked over with a tight-lipped smile that didn't reach her eyes. Late 30s. Sharp features. Pearl earrings. She looked at David like he'd wandered into a place he didn't belong. "Sir, I'm the branch manager. Can you tell me exactly what business you're conducting today?" David blinked, politely. "I'd like to withdraw $12,000 from my company's account. The funds are for a community development presentation this afternoon. It's my account." Amanda glanced at the teller, who nodded. "I'm afraid we'll need to verify some additional information before processing a withdrawal of that amount," she said. David raised an eyebrow. "Even with the card and ID?" She crossed her arms. "Company accounts of that size, we need extra steps to ensure security. You understand, I'm sure." David paused. He did understand, but he also saw it for what it was. He had been here before, metaphorically and far too often in life. He leaned in slightly. "What additional information do you need?" "We'll need to speak to the account holder directly, the owner of Langston Enterprises." David's calm faltered for a split second, then settled. "I am the owner." Amanda scoffed lightly. "Sir, please. If you don't cooperate, we'll have to ask you to leave. I don't want to involve security, but I will if I must." The teller's face paled. David slowly placed his leather folder on the counter and unzipped it. Inside were several neatly organized documents, press clippings, contracts, and a thick, embossed portfolio. He pulled one item out, a printed brochure with a photo of himself on the cover. David Langston, CEO of Langston Enterprises, building tomorrow's communities today. Amanda froze. David placed the brochure in front of her. "Let me help you out, Ms. Crowley. I'm David Langston, graduate of Morehouse College, class of '95. Magna cum laude. MBA from Wharton. I built Langston Enterprises from a 1-bedroom apartment and a $5,000 loan into a $200 million urban development firm." The room had fallen silent. David continued, his voice calm but resolute. "We've developed over 2,000 affordable housing units in Atlanta. Our latest project is a mixed-use complex 2 blocks from here, one your bank is a co-sponsor of. I met with your VP of Regional Development 3 weeks ago in that very office." He pointed to the hallway behind her. Amanda's eyes widened. Her voice cracked. I apologize, Mr. Langston. It was just a standard. No, it wasn't, David said softly. This wasn't policy. This was profiling. You saw a black man in a suit and assumed I didn't belong. You tried to embarrass me in a bank where I keep over 6 figures in liquidity at all times. Amanda glanced around, flustered. I didn't mean. I believe you did, David said. And now, unfortunately, I have to do something I hoped I wouldn't have to. He reached for his phone, dialed a number. Yes, Kendra. I'm at Southern First. Downtown branch. Please connect me to Mark. There was a pause. This is the story of power, prejudice, and poetic justice. Mark, good morning. I'm here at the branch and just experienced an unfortunate incident with your branch manager, Amanda Crowley. I was denied access to my own funds and nearly escorted out. I think it's time for that internal audit we discussed. Another pause. Yes, I'll wait. David folded his hands and looked at Amanda, who was now shaking slightly. He spoke calmly. You never know who you're speaking to. Never assume someone doesn't belong based on how they look. That's the problem. A few minutes later, the regional vice president walked into the lobby, suit soaked from the rain, eyes wide when he saw David. Mr. Langston. I came as fast as I could. Amanda stepped back. David rose to his feet and extended his hand. Mark. Good to see you again. Mark's eyes flicked between them. I believe we need to discuss staffing changes, David said. Effective immediately. Mark nodded solemnly. Yes, sir. Absolutely. Amanda tried to speak. I didn't. David turned to her. I'm not angry. I'm disappointed. Because you don't understand what your actions mean. Not just to me, but to every young black man who walks through these doors wondering if he'll ever be respected. He turned to leave, then paused. Oh, and please process that $12,000 withdrawal. I have a presentation to make. Later that day, David stood before a crowd of city officials, community members, and youth leaders in a brand new event space built by his company. He told the story, not to shame, but to educate. He spoke of dignity, of pride, of not letting anyone make you feel small. A young boy in the front row whispered to his mother, I want to be like him someday. And that, David thought, is the real withdrawal, the kind you make from your soul. When you give back dignity, when you speak truth, when you change the world not with vengeance but with vision. In a world still divided by prejudice, David Langston showed that true power lies not in titles, but in character. He didn't just walk into that bank as a CEO. He walked out as a symbol of dignity, resilience, and justice. If this story moved you, don't let it end here. Like this video, if you believe respect should never be based on appearance. Share this story to remind others that integrity speaks louder than assumptions. Subscribe for more real, powerful stories that expose injustice and inspire change. Because one story at a time, we can rewrite the narrative.